Hello. It's 11:41 p.m. on the 29th of January 2025. As promised, I'm going to give a summary of the day. Let's have a look. I think I've got a list of times and stuff. 9:30 I woke up. I was in complete agony, so I took 4 over-the-counter ibuprofen 500 milligrams and 2 extra strength Tylenol. At 10 o'clock, I had a cup of coffee and some noodles. The noodles were from yesterday. They're really good. There's noodles, a couple of eggs, bamboo shoots, and then some tomatoes and bell peppers that were starting to go squishy from my fridge. From about 9:30 when I woke up, I put on YouTube. That's something I've kind of got to get out of doing instinctively. I've got a king-size down comforter or quilt that's pretty heavy, and I'd taken that to the laundry yesterday or the day before, whichever, and so it got tied up in the cover, so I had to remove the cover last night, and then what I did is I said screw it. So about 11:30 I went and put the cover back on the quilt again, so that's all good. And again, I'm still in agony this time. 11:39 I had a cup of tea. Again, I'm trying to get the caffeine working me. Still watching YouTube. Then 3 minutes past 1 o'clock I closed my laptop, and then I said screw it. So I went to the gym. I made myself a list of things to do. I've got this quilt. It's like a nylon-y thing, polyester kind of thing, and I'm going to launder it and then give it to a homeless shelter. And so I put that downstairs, and then what else was there? I hunted around. I opened the room to what was my bedroom and the back room, and I found that I've actually got 3 70D Canon cameras, or 2 70Ds and a 7D. They're basically the same thing. It's just the 7D has less bells and whistles, but they're basically the same thing, which is cool. So I've actually got 3 of these cameras. They shoot stills, but they also shoot in film, or whatever movie format, blah. Which means I just need another tripod to match the shoes that I've got for the 2 tripods I have already. The Vanguards, that's the name brand, and then I can set myself like an interview kind of stuff with 3 cameras. And I've also I found my Panasonic. That's my favourite. It's a prosumer camera. The lens is, is a zoom lens, but it's built into the camera, so you can't change it or anything. But you can shoot 24p, 60. I think 16. I thought it was just taken, but anyway, so it's high definition. Not 4K, but I like it because it's, again, most of the cameras nowadays are still cameras that with a function to record video, whereas this is a video camera. It doesn't record stills. So I found that. I started putting my cameras on my bookshelf. So I also found a 40D, which is a Canon camera, but stills only, and that's kind of older than the other Canons, but I do like it because it's only takes stills, which means that you can't, oh hello, I'll make a video now. It's and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start taking that out and put it on manual function, because that's something I miss about film cameraing, still using a roll of film on the still camera, is you have the ASE, ISO, as in the sensitivity to light of the film. You have your aperture, which is the size of the hole that lets the light in, very much like your irises. And the smaller the hole, the more stuff's going to be in focus, but the more light you need to actually make that happen. And the larger the aperture or iris, the less light you need, but the less is going to be in focus. That's when you see a photograph where you got, like, say, a flower in the foreground and everything else in focus and everything else is blurred. That's because it's got a large iris. And then your shutter speed, that is how long the film is actually exposed to light. And the joy with this, if you have a long shutter speed, things moving blur. Like, for instance, I think I mentioned this before, but I was in New York. I didn't have a tripod. It was the middle of the night. It had just been raining, so everything was wet. And mist and rain is very good for still photography. because what it does is it gives little prisms, and even in the dark anyway, and any light source is more vibrant, and so it's easy to more creative. It's much better. Hang on, explore Edge year in review. I've never used Edge. Why the hell did that just pop up? Windows, you freaking egotistic or whatever. Anyway, so a friend of mine told me about this cigarette. It's called Nat Sherman, and it's a party cigarette. It's like deluxe. It's like the Pierre Cardin of cigarettes or something. And he used to smoke them. And I was in New York now. I was walking up Central Park. Central Park was to my right hand side, and all of a sudden there it was. So I had my camera, and it was a 400 ASA, which means that it's good in indoor light and outdoor light during the day. You can shoot in like twilight lightish, but in the middle of the night I needed a long shutter speed, so I put it on open shutter, the B setting, which means that you press the shutter button, it opens the shutter, and it keeps it open until you lift your finger off the shutter button. And I think I did it for 3 seconds or something. So I stood, crunched everything in, held the camera, closed my eyes, held my breath, and everything was in focus. Click, and then car went past. Click as I lifted my finger off again, and so I thought I'd ruined it. Now this was before digital cameras. This was a still camera, which means that I couldn't just like review it. I had to wait till the film got developed, and I was so amazingly happy because the Nat Sherman's building was there. It was on the corner of a street. You saw the street signs, the crossroads for the signs for both streets it was on, and then it was just like a smear of a car driving past. But it didn't block the Nat Sherman's building. It was afterwards. It was gorgeous, and then all the shininess of the wetness. It was gorgeous, fantastic photograph. So my 40D is what I'm going to put it straight on manual, and I'm going to treat it as if it was a film camera. And then the other 3, it's kind of a weird step, because the Panasonic is geared for shooting film, so all the settings are kind of film settings, whereas with the Canons, when you're shooting film, you've got to think of more things. It's more like a still camera that's shooting video, so there's kind of an added angle. But anyway, learning about it. So from my cameras out, I've got about 7 lenses of different varieties, which is really nice. I found a bunch of filters as well. I found my flash, external flash, and blah blah blah. Then I found again my Panasonic camera. I've still got to pull that out the spare room and put it on the shelf. That's what I'm intending to do. I found my red guitar, my Abilene, and I restrung that and played it. It was gorgeous. Then I took the PV practice amp and put it in my car. The quilt that I talked about already, put that in the car. My my Breedlove semi-acoustic that had just been restrung, and the Abilene that had just been restrung, and put those in the car. And so what else did I do? Okay, so blah, blah, blah. Yep, and then I went to this thing. It was a place. It's a cafeteria, and it was this person that I've met years ago on Facebook, and I even forgotten who they were. But he said, "Oh, we're doing this open mic night, and it's just a jam session." So I thought, okay. So I took the acoustic electric and the electric with me, with my amplifier, to the place, and listen to people do stuff, and blah blah blah. And they said, "Oh, do you want to go, mate?" No. But then later on, I said, "Yeah, okay, good stuff." So I plugged in my Abilene, my electric, and I had a really good time. It was really nice, and I like playing on the offbeat. So when you're playing, if you're playing dum da dum dum da dum, I like the it's hard to instead of dum da dum, it's I can't do it. But anyway, so it's like so I was doing the offbeat and blah, blah, which was really nice. I liked it. And I was playing lead as well. I'm not even a lead guitarist, but I was finding I could do little trills and stuff, which was really cool. And oh god, I had a beef stroganoff at there because it was a coffee shop that does beef stroganoff. And I took 3 more ibuprofen before I got there, but I'm still in bloody agony. But yeah, it was great, fantastic night. Now it's 8 minutes to midnight, and I'm home. And I've got a cat digging his nails into my leg because he wants petting, so I'm petting him now. Just stop it from getting on my leg. Ow, 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 with your nails. Oh, sorry. So that's it, really. I did a lot. And I also went to the gym as well. I don't know if I mentioned that. About 3 o'clock-ish or thereabouts. And one of the people there, one of the guys, has seen me when I started off going there when I was in the wheelchair. Then I went from wheelchair to walker, and now I'm refusing to use the wheelchair or walker in short distances. But it hurts like a motorphobia. He was chatting. Oh, he said, I've got a new job. And says, oh, is it additional? He said, no, I'm quitting here. I said, oh, okay. So it'd be nice knowing you. And I mentioned that I was writing the book, and he was like, oh yeah, well, blah 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 about the book, and said, oh, okay, cool. And I said, if you got like an email address or something like that, and then keep in touch, and then when I get the book done, I'll give you a copy. And then didn't think anything of it because I thought maybe it's the pain as well. It makes you doubt yourself, and so I was thinking like, am I just being a creep? And then so I just left it at that. And then I was leaving, and he actually came up to me and said, here you go, here's my email address. Oh, cheers, mate. So there you go. So I got that. So yeah, so I worked out. I did about 10 minutes on the recumbent bicycle. It's more of the paddly thing than the Turkley thing. Then I did, I think, 4 sets of 45 pounds bench pressing. And then I went upstairs, and then there's like an ab thing where what you do is you keep your legs straight, and then you push your arms till they lock straight, and then you lean forward, and the thing you're pushing, I had up to 70 pounds, and I did that. I did 4 or 5 sets of that, 12 each. And then there's this thing where you set a weight, and then you kneel on this bench, and then you can do pull-ups, but the weight kind of that you set it to kind of lessens how much you actually have to pull. And so I set it for 175, and did a bunch of those, and did a bunch of push-ups as well. And then I noticed they had one of the benches that they have for free weights for the freaking bench presses upstairs. So I kind of moved that to a thing I can put my feet under, and I did did actual sit-ups with my knees bent. So if you think you sat on a chair, where the chair hasn't got a back, so it's like a stool, and then you can lay down and then do sit-ups that way, so your legs aren't completely straight, they're bent. And so I did that. I did a bunch of those. So there you go. And then walked to the furthest staircase just to give myself walking. Went downstairs, and then walked to my car, and that was it. I had a really good day, but now I'm caffeinated, and yeah, doing good stuff. So it's just a case of getting his stuff and doing it. And then again, I'm in pain, but not as much as I would have been, I think, if I just didn't do anything and just laid on my ass all day doing nothing. So I'm going to watch a bit of Yoogly Tooby, pet the cat, and then get to sleep. And one thing though, I had again after the incident, I feel like an NPC. I'm kind of partially in touch with reality. It's almost if I'm dreaming, but I'm awake. It's weird. And when I was driving to the gym, I had a slight panic attack of like, what happens if I'm a figment of my own imagination? What happens if none of this is real, and I'm in hospital still, or I've been in an accident and this is my life flashing in front of my eyes? Kind of scenario. It was scary, so I had to kind of will myself away from thinking like that. But that hasn't happened before, and it's kind of it's weird. It's kind of scary because it makes you doubt you doubt your own reality and stuff. But that's it, really. I had a really good day, and I did check my bank account. I'm $250 overdrawn, but it's the 29th now, so I'll get another check from on the 1st, and blah blah blah. See what happens with that. And so tomorrow, I want to. The back room has got tons of boxes in it, but it's not well organised. So what I'm going to have to do is pull stuff out of the back room into the spare room, or into my old room, sorry, and then reorganise it so I'll make more room for myself, because I've still got half a bunch of stuff downstairs that I want to pull upstairs. Oh, a good thing though, I do have a clothes rack downstairs, and I've been intending to move everything that's on there, like coat hanger stuff, upstairs and put it into my closet. And I did that twice. I did it when I came back from the gym, and just now when I came back from the coffee shop. So yeah. So I'm getting there. So just one, maybe two more trips from that, and all those clothes are up. So we're getting there. Right. So that's me done for tonight. Thank you so much for